It's been a long time since we did it like this. It's been a long time since we did it like this. We're going to do it like this all the time now. I told y'all, and it's really going to be a very special thing, but I'm not going to talk too much because I have a habit of talking too much, and we can't have that right around this time. I welcome everybody on in. Those who are not here, those who are here, but you know I don't wait. We're going to do our thing, and I don't wait. So I don't know if you can hear me, but let me just unmute this mic as it says here. I don't know if this is the right mic. Okay, I think you can hear me. I'm going to have to check on my computer and see if you actually can. Unless somebody wants to confirm that for me, then I'm good. Let me just see. Let me check this out. Give me a second. Let me check this out. I should be heard. Let's see. We have a lot to talk about tonight. I want to take my time and go through with it with a fine-tooth comb. Okay, good. You can hear me. Okay. Welcome, Willie Rivers, Earth Angel, 1105, E. Taylor. Good, good, good. I got it rigged up all over so many different social media platforms. This stuff that I almost forgot to do. And yes, we are hard at work here, continuing our construction and putting the icing on the cake, and just unexpected things pop up and you want to do something. And I say, okay, let me just record a show. We put it up. But once everything gets settled, we'll have a set time where we have the one show that has a set time and the other shows that we just pop on and sprinkle throughout the day. Because I'm not going to say I don't have anything else to do, but, you know, things will be a lot more settled. But all is well. And I want to thank you all for being here. And I couldn't be in a better place. Yes, Mad Guns. Yes, aha. Listen, I'm going to talk about these things that I have on the banner, right? And it's going to lead into other things, right? But this new level censorship, and at any point that you don't hear the sound right, just let me know, because I'm always the last to know, right? New level censorship. Well, what do I mean by that? Well, maybe it went over most people's heads. I don't think I'm the smartest cookie in the box, but I caught this one. And I want to read off of an article. I'm not going to bore you now. I just want to give you an understanding, because it could give you a better perspective. I'll probably babble all over the place, right? But this is from CNN, which you can find articles like this across the board, and I'll explain what it means, but it's self-explanatory. Okay, I'm at the right place. Okay, the Supreme Court on Wednesday said the White House and federal agencies such as the FBI may continue to urge social media platforms to take down content the government views as misinformation, handing the Biden administration a technical, if important, election year victory. Of immediate significance, the decision means that the Department of Homeland Security may continue to flag posts to social media companies such as Facebook and X and so many others. They didn't say YouTube, right? But you know that's it too. That it believes may be the work of foreign agents seeking to disrupt this year's presidential race. Rather than delving into the weighty First Amendment questions raised by the case, the court ruled that the state and social media users who challenged the Biden administration did not have standing to sue. Justice Amy Coney Barrett wrote the opinion for the 6-3 majority. To establish standing, the plaintiffs must demonstrate a substantial risk in the near future. They will suffer an injury that is traceable to a government defendant and redressable by the injunction they seek, Barrett wrote. Because no plaintiff has carried that burden, none has standing to seek a preliminary injunction. Biden administration officials have for years tried to persuade social media platforms to take down posts featuring misinformation about vaccines, the COVID-19 pandemic, in the 2020 election, among other things. Many of those posts, the government has said, ran afoul of the platform's own stated policies. Republican officials in 2 states, Missouri and Louisiana, and 5 social media users sued over that practice in 2022, arguing that the White House did far more than persuade the tech giants to take down a few deceptive items. Instead, they said the Biden administration engaged in an informal backdoor campaign of coercion to silence voices it disagreed with, a practice known as jawboning. They pointed to the decision by social media companies to suppress coverage of Hunter Biden's laptop in late 2020 as evidence of unconstitutional government influence. But the internal communications related to Twitter's, now X, handling of the laptop story highlighted how high-level company officials were divided on whether to suppress coverage of the story, contrary to suggestions by some critics that the platform demoted it because of government pressure. Now, I have these links. I'm not going to read the whole thing. It goes deep, deep, deep into other roads, and we're not coming here for that. When you go and order a pizza, you want pizza. You don't want Chinese food, right? So that's basically it. But what does that mean? Since the Biden administration, and I'm quite sure other government agencies, as they will give permission to the CIA, the FBI, and so on and so forth, misinformation? How do we classify misinformation? Because I'm pushing it hard that I'm sharing my opinion. I'm sharing my opinion and giving my perspective. So therefore, we can talk about anything. Who's to determine misinformation? Okay, it's obvious. If you say, and I don't want to say nothing bad now, even though it's after the fact, but we know they're mad when you come up with words like the jab and get around it. Don't take the jab. The jab is going to hurt you. Or maybe I could be talking about boxing. It doesn't mean that I'm just talking about, that. So we found ways of working around it. We found ways of singing Negro spirituals on the plantation so Massa doesn't know what we're talking about. That's what we're doing now. And guess what? If they get this far, this is not just going to end with the election. When agencies such as the FBI, the CIA, Homeland Security, and so forth, ATF, all these different agencies can look and scour across the internet and look for people like me who have cross threads on my forehead because I'm a bad boy. So it's okay. We didn't stop him when he took down the channel. He has a new channel now. This guy keeps on going. But just remember, as we speak, I'm on Facebook right now. I'm on LinkedIn right now. I'm on YouTube right now. I'm on Twitch right now. I'm on X right now, right? I'm on Rumble right now. I'm on Instagram right now. And that being said, I haven't looked at the Instagram screen. Sam Sadek, welcome. Mr. 3 Natural Peace, welcome on in. I'll be coming back to check up on you. But yeah, this is the beginning of a new level of censorship that is not a good thing. And so we didn't know. And I've said this before. I'm going to say this again before we get on to the next point. The next point, I'm going to be really quick on it. I'll talk about it when I get there. Manipulated emotions. Right? We're going to get down on black cyber genocide. That's the one I want to wallow in. That's the one I want to tarry in. We're going to go to church all night long, and we're going to tarry in the Lord until the change comes. Well, the change is only going to come for the pastor when you bring it to him, right? But this is gonna, okay, let's go back, way back in the time. Social media. It's just like the Reese's peanut butter cup. You got my chocolate in your peanut butter, and you got your peanut butter in my chocolate. So I guess that's their way of having sex, right? Because something new was born, Reese's peanut butter cup. Well, as far as cyberspace is concerned and smartphones, you got my smartphone all up in your internet. Oh, you got my internet all up in your smartphone. We didn't have problems like we do amplified until these two things connected, but it's by design. And this happened after 9/11. Not right away. We already had social media platforms, and we already had the internet. And for those who are old enough to remember when we said back in the day, oh, I got to go home and check my email. Unless you were at the job and had a job where you can safely do this without getting reprimanded, right? But the bottom line is those are two separate entities. And once the marriage of the smartphone or the cell phone happened with the internet, you can be at the red light in your car about to get smacked up because you're not looking at the road, checking your emails, watching YouPorn or RedTube or whatever it is that you watch, checking up on sports. It altered our mind. Because now we didn't complain about the commute when we were on the bus or the train just get us to a job. on time, but it wasn't a boring commute no more because we all bowed our hair, hair if you bought it, right? In prayer. We bowed our heads in prayer. And so that made it very interesting because now, woof, we had more stuff to process, more ads to come at us, advertisements, more. They took their time with us now. We had Facebook, we had WhatsApp come, we had eventually Instagram come, everything that was there. But I got to give credit where credit is due. Black Planet was the original Facebook. And now it's been reduced to a booty call page. I remember. I had 352,000 followers on there. And when it began to become a booty call page, I got rid of it. But I should have kept it just for the sheer numbers. Back in the day, back in the 90s, coming into the year 2000 and beyond, Black Planet, it did have its sexual connotations and people looking for hookups, but it was cultural. It was us. I'm saying all this for a reason, y'all. People who wrote articles, people who were into Black culture. Okay, you had the rap aspect of it, you had other things, and you had a small ratchet part of it all, but there were grown folks, a little older than me, and my age. And I remember this. I'm 61 years old now. Where is the love? Where are the people? Where are the people who made up Black Planet that brought such substance to it? Poems and drawings and writings, and it didn't have much of a, they tried with a little video, but it didn't take off because they didn't have the bandwidth, they didn't have the strength, the servers. It really would have really stuck back then. But I just find it so funny that we had something that was the precursor to the Facebook. You know, and we gathered there, but we don't have that anymore. People, oh, we're on Facebook, we're here, we're on Instagram, but that's not ours. We can't say what we want to say. We're back to the plantation, singing the Negro spirituals. No more are we. We got whipped and castrated and buck broken, and now we're all well-behaved Negroes now. And this new level of censorship is coming. So now the first thing that we said, I heard a lot of young ladies, I'm not putting my business out there. I'm not going to go on no Facebook and take pictures and whatever. And guess what happened? We couldn't resist the temptation. Couldn't resist it. We started with the photos and stuff, and then the video came. And so every platform tried to be the other platform. See, I go way back with this thing. 2001 is when I started on AOL, and I watched the evolution. And I had passed through Black Planet as a person who didn't do stuff online. I was a regular guy who didn't create content at one point. It was interesting, and then that was it. It was no big thing to me. I don't need this thing for a dopamine hit anyway, still too. But many of us are hooked on it for that. And we've been corralled into a space now, right? In the present. But let's go back to the past a little bit. We had Facebook, and that was meant to share within your inner circle. Friends and family. Everybody had their little area on Facebook. And sometimes a coworker might get in there, or maybe a neighbor. And it was cool for a while. Then we had Instagram. That was primarily made to take pictures, to take photos. And it was for different industries. If you were a photographer, or you were into fashion, or you were into the culinary, that was beautiful because they had a system that they still do of tagging your pictures and getting around to other people who search for those tags. I think Instagram is one of the most powerful tagging platforms. I don't know about YouTube anymore. I don't know about Facebook, but I know Instagram really, really works when you want to search for somebody in your same industry, right? So what's the other one? YouTube now, right? Okay, YouTube came around with 2005, around the same time Facebook came. And of course, that wasn't for your inner circle. That wasn't a community thing. It was to watch videos. And when it first came out, it wasn't as strict. You can say what you want. And until somebody complained about something that you put up, because I saw damn near porn on YouTube at one point, but it depended on a person reporting it and saying that this was out of line. Yeah, back in the day, the Wild Wild West. The internet was seriously the Wild Wild West. And I loved it, not because you had porn-like stuff on YouTube, but you still do now. But if it's under a certain category, then it gets a pass. I'm going to say this in a very decent way. YouTube right now, and I'm not going to look for the link, and maybe you all saw this, and they do have the age restricted category. And I'm going to get back on point and explain what I was explaining before. I saw a video on YouTube of a woman getting a tattoo. Well, what's wrong with that? We all have tattoos. Well, not all of us, right? I have one, and I'm like, I wish I didn't do it. You know, I wasn't drunk or anything, but maybe it was my early midlife crisis. I don't know. But there was a woman getting a tattoo. She was face down on a table that bends a little bit, you know, so they can position her right. And she was getting a tattoo of a star around her anus. By a show of hands, did anybody here see that? I could not believe they showed it. And she was in great pain because that thing, a needle going into that part of your body around it. And she was screaming, but she wanted this thing so bad. And they showed it on YouTube. They show a lot of crazy stuff on YouTube under the age restricted category. And if you can pass it off as something professional or something in this genre and it's something decent, but it is some nudity or something, they're going to let it fly because they want to make money too. They want the viewers to come on, and it's about business. This is about business. So let me go back to the original. Facebook was for your inner circle. Instagram was for pictures, and YouTube was for video. But guess what? Facebook got jealous, and Facebook wanted to do video, right? YouTube got jealous, and they wanted to have a community section where you can share pictures and talk with each other. Not many people use it, but it's there. And on Instagram, they got jealous because Facebook was doing pictures too, of course. YouTube had the community section doing photos too. So they say, you know what? We're going to do video. Then one started having it where you can make phone calls. You can make phone calls. I think YouTube, you can't make phone calls on it. But Instagram, Facebook, there are other smaller platforms, right? And so we had Twitter and X, and that was for short bursts of information, which was down to 140 characters. People had to abbreviate like crazy. But then they boosted up, I think, to 280. And if you now get the premium YouTube, you pay for, X, which was Twitter, and you pay for it, you can write long articles. You can go in there and edit what you put up if you want to change it because you can't with the free account, and so on and so on and so forth. This is the same thing like McDonald's trying to sell chicken, KFC trying to sell hamburgers. Come on, stay in your lane. But it got us out of ourselves. And we were taking the selfies and we were taking the video, and the smartphone was the ultimate crack pipe. And we were being lured into the cage of censorship now, but we didn't know it. Like when you drop breadcrumbs leading up to a cage and the birds drop down and they eat, they say, boy, we eating good. And then there's more crumbs near the cage. So you stand in front of the cage and get used to the cage, and you're still eating. And then now there's more breadcrumbs in the cage. And they don't drop the cage down on the door. They let stay in there and eat. Oh, this is good. You know, it's so comfortable in this cage. Bang! We used to have calling cards. Remember that? And you had to pay to use the card. They gave you so much time to call another country. Mexico, Jamaica, Puerto Rico, Canada, whatever. This social media wiped that out. I know there's some people in that business that were mad because they were getting it good. You couldn't go to a Caribbean neighborhood, a Hispanic, Latino neighborhood without that little store having all the calling cards. And there was a little old lady in there that when you reach for one, she always told you, no, that's not the good one. Get that one over there. You get more minutes. It was a different world. It was still the Wild Wild West. Then Barack Obama came around and the political stuff. And then now the major networks started to have their pages on social media. And now it was a thing where we started to have to be politically correct. We could still get around with things and get along with things. It came up 2012, 2013. I was doing shows then, right? 2018, 2019, 2020, COVID. Maybe I'll get knocked for saying that word, right? But that came along. And the World Health Organization. Now listen to this video good now because they might snatch it because I said that, right? It's like a big black man on the plantation takes a look at the hem of Missy Ann, and he gets lynched. You're not even supposed to look at it that way because I know what you're thinking. You trying to get between those? Well, we'll keep it decent. But that's what it was. And so now channels are being smashed. You were getting community strikes, community guidelines, and World Health Organization is in bed directly with YouTube. Is it a crime to say that? You know what I mean? It's just like that young lady on the job, that little white girl on the job. She has a little position, not big. She's regular like anybody else in this office in the corporate setting. But because she's going into the CEO's office around noontime to give him a little food that she went and picked up and to extract some protein from him, if you know what I mean. She's the pet of the CEO, and so she knows everybody's business. She's up and down, and you can't say anything about her. Because now the CEO is going to call you in on some trumped up charges and want to fire you. And that's the way it is with the World Health Organization and YouTube. They're hand in hand. They're probably going to have some babies together. The time is right. Hold me tight. So now we know there's certain things that we can't say. We heard about Facebook jail. We heard about these things. Now the government is jumping in and saying, agencies, you can go now and you have the right to have posts taken down. First Amendment is gone, y'all. It's dead. It died. It's been gone. But then again, on the flip side, these people own their platforms. They own their platforms, right? So what can we say? We in somebody else's house. We that Negro who got thrown out of our apartment, we on somebody else's couch. We better be on our best behavior, right? We don't dare go in the refrigerator at night. We don't dare use up too much toilet paper. Now, you know how that goes when you're at somebody else's house. You don't use all the paper. You use each little square and fold it over and try to get more wipes under that one little thing until you have a finger accident. When you home, you roll it off the paper. They look like white boxing gloves when you go to wipe up. Sorry to be so lewd. I hope nobody's eating. But it's a different world we're living in. And now, see, the convenience of the smartphone, FaceTime. You don't have to wait to come home to check your emails and send a message. Oh, forget snail mail. Forget writing a letter. I write this letter, signed it. Remember that song from '86, right? Who's writing letters now? We just deliver parcels, unless it's an official legal document that we have to sign for. When was the last time you sat down and wrote a letter? Hell, it's so easy to text. We don't even send emails as much no more. It's got our brain, but it's slowly but surely, not only are we censored, but they are monitoring us, electronically monitoring and gathering data. Look, back in the 80s, and I can't say exactly the right word, the right name of what this was, but I read this in a newspaper in New York City, an alternative newspaper called The Village Voice. They had the curse words in there. You can write what you want. And the ads in the back were nothing but whores and homos for sale. You know what I mean? Bizarre things and swingers and all kind of craziness. And it really caught the flavor of New York City. Now, I'm not sure if it's still around. I got to check it because I'll check it out online. But back then in the 70s and back then in the 80s, the Village Voice was so gritty. Yes. Oh, see? Right, Mad Guns. I'm just seeing this. Let me put this up on the screen. Bet. Here's the psych op though. Has YouTube reinstated all of the channels they took down during COVID for telling the truth? I beg to think that they didn't, because they are omnipotent. They're megalomaniacs. They're all seeing eye. They are the god of the internet because people bow down to it. And I don't think so. I really don't think so. It's the same thing now that selling weed is legalized. A lot of people who are locked up, you know. Yes, Queen Missouri. How are you? It's been a while. It's been a while. I've been uploading, putting stuff up, and coming on impromptu just to keep content on this new channel and everything. But it's starting out slow, but there's no shadow banning on it now. I'm not gonna make it where it's like that, So that's what it is. But yeah, going back to what I was saying, You know, it's just like now it's legal to sell weed. You have to go through certain loopholes and licenses and this and that. And they made it where you need money to get into that business. So what happened now? Are they going to release all the dudes who are on the street selling weed? And I know they have it set up where they're not going to do that. But that's how this government is in the United States and across the world in different ways. So now we are hooked on all this social media stuff. Our actual brains have been manipulated. We actually get dopamine hits off of social media. When you see that little red dot on Facebook where somebody responded to you, oh, let me check it out. The minute you say you're getting off, there's something else that pops up. People can go and look at you that don't like you, who live next door to you, live across the street from you, live across town, or somehow, some way you're a coworker, and they can peer in on your Facebook and see what you're doing as much as you put out, right? Now, I got to find this link, and I found it years ago. And I know there are a lot of old school Lancescurv folks here. And let me drop something real quick. Oh, I took it off the screen. No, I didn't. Let me go. Well, as I talk, I'm going to do this. I want to go back on YouTube or this other computer. I got a desktop and a laptop in front of me that's behaving well, not making any crazy noises. But let me just drop this link in and put it up top and leave it. Almost forgot to pin it up. I'm trying to be on my P's and Q's with this stuff because it's a lot. Because I want to do things right. Okay, just give me a second here to hit the channel, hit this particular post, and get into the chat room. Just bear with me, bear with me. Come on, chat room. Come on, chat room. Let's go. I got a lot more to say. Okay. Let's start making more merchandise and stuff. I hope this kind of comes out good. I mean, I did this to start it out. I'm going to really do some elaborate stuff and put some artwork up and whatnot. But I'll put it up top. Yeah. Like I was saying, let me look at the comments too. Yeah. You know YouTube is a trip. you know YouTube is a straight trip. You know, they do what they say. So now it really got strict a couple of years ago with this has a lot to do with the narrowing of our movement. You know, it's like having a big playground, and every year that goes by, they take 10 feet or 20 feet off of it until you're in a little box. So we walked ourselves into the cage, but it was too sweet at first. Anything that's bad for us that way, in the beginning, it's like a free-for-all. Sweet, they let it go on until it does its job. Now, I'm not saying crack was sweet, but that took over so many people's lives. And they were going crazy over this thing, and it's still out there. But they let people do it, get arrested, spread STDs, break in people's houses and take VCRs. I swear, in Jamaica, Queens, if you wanted to get a Toshiba VCR with 8 heads, all you had to do is drive down enough and you'd be offered all kind of other VCRs. Or here's an RCA. No, I don't want that one. Oh, here's a Sony. No, I don't want that one. Whatever kind of TV you wanted, you can go out in the street and there's some guy walking. What kind of TV is that? It was almost like going shopping. You know, I had a couple TVs on discount. You know, it's not good. That's not good karma, but we all do a few bad things. But we boxed ourselves in because we forgot to keep ourselves righteously paranoid and aware because we just thought it was so simple. And now on social media has us antisocial. And we tell all our business. Even when you don't tell all your business, you're being monitored electronically. Somewhere, you know, whichever way they work it. The technology they have now, which I always say means take knowledge. The technology that they have now is off the chain beyond what we can comprehend. But we're watching clips from the 70s and the 80s, which is cool to a sense, because it gives a person like me an escape from the stuff that's pushed on us in the entertainment world. But at the same time, I can't find myself back in the past. We all remember when Michael Jackson first did the moonwalk on that, was it a Motown show or something like that, some award show? And at the end, he did the moonwalk and got up on his toes and just staggered a little bit, but we were so amazed at what we saw, we didn't see that. And we all remember, just the same way when 911 happened, we remember. We have personal things that we remember. Oh, I remember when my grandmama died and I got the call and I was on the highway or whatever it was. So we've been locked in and looping over mentally and not realizing that this is 2024. Bad Guns reference. I'm 20. What's a VCR? Is that acronym for something? I'm telling you, I'll come up with something. I'll put it in the comment section, right? Yeah. I mean, I'm telling my age too, right? Like I remember them old cassette recorders, you know, whatever company, Panasonic had it, but they all look the same. Look, I go so far back, and I'll get back on point. You all know I love boxing. Muhammad Ali, Larry Holmes, Ken Norton, Aaron Shavers, George Foreman, Joe Frazier, whoever. All of it. Wide World of Sports, Sports World, CBS. And I used to have this recorder, and I loved Muhammad Ali so much, I would put the recorder next to the television, turn the volume up, and record Muhammad Ali talking trash for the pre-fight or the interviews. And you'd hear people in the background, Lance, you want your dinner now? Shh, I'm recording. Now look at what we have. I'm a real old head with this thing. And I see how the technology, it never had us that way. Now, introduce shorts. Introduce shorts. What was the first one that had it? Instagram. The minute burst of video. And YouTube was like, dang it, why didn't we think of that? But they jumped on too, and now they call it YouTube Shorts, and it's the brand name for YouTube Shorts. But we'll say Instagram Shorts. So they didn't come out with that name. And guess what? You can do the same thing. Oh, and then TikTok, the Chinese ran with it. And what does that do? We thumb through things and get a quicker dopamine hit. And if we don't like it, we keep going. We don't look at long form content anymore. We can't even pick up a book because the book is not stimulating like the smartphone. We are hypnotized, and we have now a shorter attention span and not the ability to figure stuff out long term and be analytical. We're losing it. We just want that short burst. How many of y'all fall asleep with the phone in your hand and you roll over on the phone and you wake up to go pee or something else and the phone is under you hot? Hot. And if the battery's still good, it's going to keep playing, and these things are looping over in your mind. What is it doing? You know the old trick when you're in school? That if you want to retain something, read something before you go to bed. And with that book, there is no blue light to stimulate you to not get into REM sleep. We need REM sleep. Let me tell you something. I have not slept as good until I got out here in Ghana, up in the mountains, and breathing the air and hearing the animals out there have sex. I mean, there's some animals singing their own version of Love to Love You, Baby. And you look over the mountains and see the lights, and man, that air hits you and lets you, man, you just let go. And I'm thinking the conditions in society now, your brain is being bombarded with more ads, more advertisements, more commercials, more things that you can be interactive with and choose. And we have content creators who put out good stuff. There's a lot of great programs out there, but you can't go over the line because censorship will get you. And then you have platforms like Rumble, but you can go over a little more, right? Rumble is like that aunt that comes over to babysit you when you're a kid and lets you stay up a little later than your mother or father would. Well, bedtime usually 8 o'clock, auntie. Well, don't tell your mama. I'm going to let you stay up to 11 o'clock. Oh, I can stay up to 11. Don't tell nobody. Well, Rumble lets you do a little more. But they're going to start cramping down too, right? So our minds are so hooked on this thing. And now because we can't say things on these platforms anymore like we used to, this is translated over into real life and being politically correct. So we're like that slave on the plantation that watched a big, strong slave get buck broken or lynched, and we are scared. We are scared to talk. Like I said, on Lancescurv.com, I have to embed videos from other platforms. And from now on, I'm only going to embed videos from Rumble, which is on Rumble right now streaming. So I'm not going to take the YouTube version, because if they knock this channel, all of those embeds will be empty. So I have a lot of empty posts out there on Lancescurv.com over the years. And I got to delete all of those because the stuff they took is not coming back, right? But I have a lot saved on other platforms. So you got to be shrewd in this game now, especially when they have you labeled the bad boy and they know just by your name alone, we're going to watch him. We're going to be like the cops that drive a foot from behind your car with the lights off to freak you out, to make you go over the double yellow lines and make a dumb mistake and whoop, whoop. Are you driving drunk? You went over the double yellow line. No, you had me scared because I don't know if you're going to shoot me when I went down that dark block. So the censorship now is legal. And it's legal for a reason. Now, what I say after this is my opinion, just like all I've said before. I read off some facts, but I have to say it again. I'm going to say it for the next few shows. I do feel that WW3 is already in effect on so many different levels. But we expect it to look like World War II. We expect it to look like World War I. It's not. It's more of a cyber thing, although there are nukes out there off the coast of Florida just chilling by Cuba. And there's a lot of things that happen in the world that we don't know about as people who are connected to America. Like I said before, black woman I know, she's a doctor living out in China, and we got close, you know, no, not romantically tied up, but she told me so much about what had almost happened in America, but the mainstream media platforms were not going to say anything because they didn't want any national panic. So don't expect them to tell you the truth about anything. And again, that's my opinion. Don't expect them to tell you the truth about anything. They're going to manipulate you from what they say, and then you're going to have it on social media, and then they're going to make it where you can't hear any real truth. So I'm going to have to write about it when I hear it, and I'm going to speak it raw. Oh, baby, I like it raw. Oh, baby, I like it raw. But you still have to wear your common sense condoms when navigating the shark-infested waters of social media, because they are there. Just like you'd have the cop by the trestle and you're zooming down the highway and you realize, oh man, there's a cop car there. And they get behind you. We got more law enforcement on social media. More law enforcement. And they have the tools to watch you. And we give it away on our computers at night, keystrokes. We don't know who's watching our screen while we're on the computer. Some of y'all that watch some weird porn, you making some white man in a white van laugh somewhere. Oh my God, he likes tranny midgets. You think it's private? There's no more privacy. Riri, welcome. Matthew White, blissfully too. Sun rising and grand rising. Right? Video cassette recorder, right? Right now in the outskirts of Accra, Ghana, West Africa is 10:09. You know, so therefore I know on the East Coast of America is 6:09. But that's what it is, y'all. And there's going to be things happening in the world that they're going to bully certain people who get it and want to run with the truth. They're going to bully them off. They're just going to delete you. They're just going to delete you. And when you're gone, then here's the thing. When you look, it doesn't have to be me. It could be somebody else. If you follow them, follow them. Really find a way to communicate with them just in case these platforms take you down. They did it to me. They'll do it again. I'm ready for it. Better than ever before. Oh, what happened to Lancescurv? Go to Lancescurv.com. I keep saying it over and over. If they don't let me put videos on platforms, I'll write about stuff. I'll do my own videos under a different dummy name in the street and talking with whatever. You can't have one fighting style in this game of combat, social media combat. You better be like them Asians that know how to fight this way and that way and this way and that way and have all these different techniques. You just can't come in there like a drunk in a ballroom brawl just because you big and buck strong, ball up your fist. That ain't gonna get it. You gotta know how to really fight. You better be determined. But most here are not content creators, so I understand that. But when you were with something like that, you gotta share the stuff. You gotta, because the algorithms are against us. Let me talk about this other thing, which is kind of corny, but I need to talk about it because I keep seeing different aspects of it online and people talking about it. You see things on Instagram that's very intelligent, but it's like, okay, that's kind of cool, but the other things get your attention. The fights and the ratchet fights, and they can be entertaining, but it's just too much sometimes. Right, Reese? Better learn how to send smoke signals. You're right about that. You're right about that. Yep. We got to go back to the old day of doing things, because look, in the black community especially, way back in the 30s, let's just pick on the 30s for a while, or before, right? 40s and 50s too. We didn't have these gadgets, but news got around. We leaning up against our fence, talking to the neighbor, talking to the person across the street, talking to the beauty salon, barbershop, right? In the checkout line. Did you hear what happened last night when they lynched that boy? Yeah. Everybody know about it though. Wasn't no smartphones. We don't talk to each other now because we're antisocial, because we have social media. We're too busy fronting, trying to act like we're something that we're not. When was the last time, and I'm not saying to anybody here personally, I'm just saying this in general. When I say you, I don't mean you, okay? It could be you, but I'm not saying that. But when was the last time you had a conversation, a heart to heart, even if you're not telling your business, but a real vibration? When was the last time you sat around the table with a couple people in a good meal? There was no time limit, and you sat down and you talked and enjoyed yourself. When was the last time you did that? And laughed so hard and ate so good, you had to lean back, push the table, push yourself away from the table. And you just taking a bite every 5 minutes just because, but you're already full. And the human vibration, we need that. We need the human touch. I did a show on it a couple months ago. You can see it on Lancescurv.com. You scroll down long enough. We need the camaraderie. We need the trust. I remember when I was a kid, Saturday came, I do my chores. I couldn't wait to go out and play. Us as kids at 8, 9 years old, we didn't have no money. No, we couldn't have money for an ice cream, Daddy. We didn't have any jobs. We did chores. So I always kept a little money. But what I'm saying is that it was a human thing. You come home from school pretty much, and we all had different situations, but there was accountability because you had to sit there and eat dinner with your folks. Whether you had parents, aunts, cousins, grandmama raising you, we black folks, we got all kinds of situations, but we had soul. We had soul. And just like Public Enemy said in their song, "Who Stole the Soul?" Yep. Mad Guns Forever says, if a female even thinks about checking the phone while we're out on the date, I call for the check immediately. Exactly. And we're starved for this. And see, we are going to the wrong source to get that spiritual and human touch nutrition. You see what I mean? It's almost like a person who eats junk food all the time and they keep eating it because they got the salt and the sugar in there that's a stimulant, but they keep eating it because now they feel the rush of calories, but they're receiving no nutritional value. And when you eat food and you have your nutritional value in it, it's easy to push away from the table, even when there's not that many calories in it. But on an emotional and spiritual level, we still have our needs. We didn't change overnight because social media came around in the last quarter century or more, depending on what you consider social media to be. We still have our needs. And then we have porn. You think that's taking care of you because you got that jar of Vaseline and a right hand that you think can do the walking? You're still more empty after that. There's no afterplay. There's no foreplay. There's no emotion. There's no cuddling and going to sleep and waking up with the person. You love them so much, you tongue them down in the morning with morning breath. It don't matter because you're with this person. You're in the middle of the night, you're breathing and she let one go. Oh, baby, you so cute. I love you. No, I'm not a fart freak. I'm just saying the human part of it all. What a beautiful thing. Now, because of social media, we have to be so perfect. But let me talk about this next aspect, because I'm always dogging social media, and I'm on it all the time, but I'm putting stuff in. And I know all who are here, you look at dignified things, you look at edifying things, you look at things that can elevate you. But it's for everybody to pick and choose what they get out of the supermarket. Nobody ever got locked up for having a cart full of junk food. So you have to be wise in how you choose things. I want to speak about this thing called, I don't know if I'm saying it right. I don't know, Ice Cat, right? And I'm going to go to, and I'm not going to sit here and do, I threw the show together, but I want to put this in here for a short time because these are facts, but I'm going to give my opinion on it, right? What it really is. It's spelled EISCAT. I'm going to read a short paragraph. Again, I don't have them on Lancescurv.com right now, but I have this is streaming on Lancescurv.com through Rumble. I have an article that I wrote sharing a few thoughts, but these links that I talk about and for future shows, they'll always be on Lancescurv.com. And it's mobile friendly. So go there and leave some comments. Come on, yo, my comment section is starving. Y'all drop comments on YouTube and sometimes they take it away. Lance, you took away my comment. No, I didn't do that. Even if you cuss me out, I'm not taking it down. All right. So this is what Ice Cat is. I call it Ice Cat, but it's not ICE, it's EISCAT. And that stands for European Incoherent Scatter Scientific Association. Wait, whoa. Let's say this again. You know? Oh yeah, let me see what Blissfully said. I try to keep it with the comments and stuff like that. Let me come back over to the screen and put it across before I move forward. But Blissfully too said, yes, everybody seems to be disconnected. We must grow our own resources, create, build, and unify. Yes, you are so right, Blissfully too. And isn't it funny how the first classes or programs from decades ago, they started removing home economics, art. They'll keep gym there, you know, give the teachers a break. But home economics, right? And art, or the arts, music. Because really, when you think about it, most revolutionaries have an artistic side of them. I don't mean they sit here and draw pictures or just paint. Could be music, it could be something, but that part of the brain that thinks beyond the box that they want to have you in, where you just go to work and you just come home and you eat, you drive down the same streets, and we're creatures of habit, and we live most of our active life and youthful life doing the same thing. And that's something. So they take these things out. So they started this. This is a look. Call me paranoid. Call me a conspiracy theorist. But this was part of it from years ago. Strategic. Ain't no way a plane or two planes hit the World Trade Centers and those buildings come down straight. Hey, YouTube, that's my opinion. Don't say I'm putting out misinformation because you want to get me. There's no way. It's a controlled demolition of our black families. Well, you're concerned, so other people too. I'm not concerned with that. I've watched the feminist movement come and destroy the minds of the black women and have them thinking they're something else. I've gone through the whole crack thing. Not me. I never smoked it. My brother, my blood brother. Come on now. And half my neighborhood. Mad Guns Forever says, it's a wrap though. Humanity, especially females, aren't putting these phones down. I see it every day, to the point where females cross the street, never pick their heads up. Does that seem safe to you? Exactly, Mad Guns Forever. And we're going to go on in that when I talk about black cyber genocides. Let me get this part out the way before my voice gets hoarse and I start to sound like Paul Mooney. Ice Cat. European Incoherent Scatter Scientific Association operates 3 incoherent scatter radar systems in North Scandinavia, and I don't even know how to pronounce this. Americans, you might know. It's Svalbard. Maybe the S is silent. Valbard, maybe? Or Svalbard? I'm not sure. The facilities are used to study the interaction between the sun and the earth as revealed by disturbances in the ionosphere and magnetosphere, right? The IceCat Scientific Association exists to provide scientists with access to incoherent scatter radar facilities of the highest technical standard. Now that's from Wikipedia, and I'm going to drop that link in it, and it goes all deep down. You'll feel like you're reading something out of a science fiction magazine. It's the kind of technology they have. Now, the different posts that I saw on social media from reputable people whose names I can't even remember, they were basically saying that this IceCat can be also used, and these are people in that industry. They say, oh yes, it can also be used to stimulate and manipulate emotions and attitudes. So imagine, and like one older white woman said in the post, she said, imagine this, and I'm saying the low-level street way. I'm just, they can shoot beams over a whole swatch of the hood and have everybody killing each other. They can have you at the Super Bowl and aim something and shoot something out and have everybody upset or just extra aggressive and stuff starts breaking out. That they can do this. They can already kill a person with a laser from so many thousands of miles away. They can use a satellite and look to see heads or tail if a dime is heads or tail on the ground, and they way up in the sky looking through clouds. So why can't they do this? Sometimes we have moods and it's not, oh, mood swings or you're bipolar. It may not be that. Like, okay, I always say with bipolarism, it may not be just what I say it is, but it could be a touch of it when you've had multiple sexual partners and have soul ties with them. And all these different people you're connected to that you didn't break the soul tie from, they in a pissed off mood somewhere in another state, another side of the world. It's like a long rope connecting you to them that you can't see, but it's like a spiritual thing. With the astronaut on the outside of the spaceship and they got that lifeline, you cut that bad boy, they just go floating through space. Ah! Well, those lines haven't been cut. But then again, there are other aspects of it too. We could be manipulated that way. There's that spiritual aspect. We got demons all over us, and I'm not mean just the ugly, whatever, the energies. We are energy beings. I'm not talking about no religion. I'm talking about we are energy beings. We have to see ourselves that way. If they can manipulate energy in this world, like they did with CERN, and like they're doing with this thing, IceCat, if they can manipulate it, why are we not affected? We have to be affected, right? You put your food in a microwave and it cooks it. Do you see the microwaves? No. You got Wi-Fi all up in your backside right now. You don't see it. So what else are they doing? And in the spiritual realm, there's energies around us, free floating and contained in people's bodies. You can't tell me no different. And these people, they're wicked. They manipulate things. They mess with things they shouldn't mess with. They want to rip the very fabric between the physical world and the spiritual world and introduce all kind of demons across the world and bad energies. And this is why our world is crazy like this. We done lost our mind. And it's not by chance. The mental illness in the Black community has gone up. We have all this technological advances and medical advances. We didn't have mental illness like that even in the plantation. I'm not repeating any study because I don't know if there's any study about that, but we are strong. How are we broken down so weak now? We're indulging in things that we're not supposed to indulge in. And this takeover on our mind was planned from a long time ago to break down the family, to break us down from being connected to each other. And I said about the feminist movement and the crack era, and now they're pushing the rainbow. We ain't talking about the natural rainbow, so knock me for that. I mean, I just got to say it. And you had some people who are in that way of living. Oh, there's no agenda. There's no agenda. I got some old shows. A lot of my old shows are on a SoundCloud. It's audio. SoundCloud Lancescurv. I got the link there on the page, Lancescurv.com. And it was a dude who was part of that, and they had a whole crew and wanted to do a show. I said, listen, it's gonna be respectful. We ain't gonna throw off. We can get intense, but okay, I'll do it. And so he tried to come at me on some old, well, the black community and the pro-black people and the LGBT. No, no, don't come that way with me. I said that, but I broke it down why. But they pushed that. Even them same ones. Lance, you know, I was against you when you said it was an agenda because, oh, but damn, there is an agenda. I can see, even I can see it. Oh, damn, even you can see it. Right? I mean, if it's something I like, I'm a man, I'm a married man, but I'm just saying, right? If it's something I like and there's a bunch of half-naked women walking around and they say, Lance, it's an agenda. I'm like, ain't no agenda because I'm seeing everything that I like. Well, you're a gay dude and they pushing this stuff. You don't see there's anything negative. And they want to come after our men. We need our men, real men, who are the staples in the black community. Now we got these little beta simps and little fearful, scared, whatever. What happened to the men? They methodically broke us down. You see what I mean? Oh, thank you, Megan. I knew you knew about that. I knew you knew about that. But the word there, Valbart. Man, we're messed up. And it's a wrap. The majority of us are done, cooked. Yeah, we eat, we sleep, we work, we make money, whatever, but we don't have, we're like sperm swimming up the vaginal canal and don't know which way we're supposed to go. You trying to hit the egg, another sperm flying past you the wrong way. You ever drive down the highway and somebody's driving the opposite way on your side of the highway? That happened. I almost got killed one night in North Carolina. I'm driving next to this 18-wheeler. And I see this as the highway turned, and you can see the other side. There's like a little trees in between, and you can see the headlights on the other side. But these headlights didn't have no trees, you know, blocking the. I'm like, hey, I had to duck behind the 18-wheeler. That car flew past me. There wouldn't have been no Lancescurv show then. You got to be careful. But things are engineered out here. They even got it where they can, you know, they can damn near read your mind because we're creatures of habit. Not necessarily just your mind, but we're creatures of habit. You're right, blissfully. Two, they started with removing our fathers and our men from the household to control our women and our children. Yes, exactly. And the government became our father. Not mine. I had a father. And like I said, some haven't. Sometimes things don't work out. Sometimes mishaps happen and, you know, they pass away and stuff. We understand that. But where are the men overall to fill in the gaps? That's what I'm talking about. If there are no men there or here and the little patches of it, bring your manhood. I'm not just talking about the sexual way. Because you got brothers out here, they're going to do something for you, but there's always a little catch where, you know, can I slip by maybe 2 in the morning when the kids are asleep? No, man. Then don't do nothing for the woman at all. We need to be soldiers in our own community. We need to be warriors in our own community. We need to have some damn sense to know what's going on, number one. Because this generation coming up behind us, we're not producing men. There are young men that are on point, though. I have to give credit where credit is due, but not enough. Many of us, and there are many grown-ass men who are trying to understand what manhood is. Are you serious? Because they didn't have no examples. They want to be gunmen. They want to be womanized. They want to play tough and all this stuff. And the amount of old-ass men who walking around like they doing the ring walk to fight Mike Tyson. Like, you that tough? Walk around attitudes. Walk around like they mean mugging and want to throw that. You too old for that. I'm too old for that. I can still throw down. I'm not trying to throw down. I'm older now. I'm more brittle. I keep myself okay. But my mind is not there. Let's discuss things. Let's build. My mind is powerful. Out there rolling around in the dirt with some other dude. Just get sweat getting on me and spitting on each other and scratching each other. What kind of mess is that? That's the ultimate in low vibrational foolishness. And there are many who have tried to hoax me or trying to trick me or provoke me into that foolishness. I'll cuss you out with comedy. Make you feel so bad you'll run back home to your wife and cry. That's how I do it. I can still throw jammies though too, but I'm not trying to hurt my hands. You see what I mean? Earth Angel says, making excuses as to why they don't. So now let's just move ahead to the, I just wanted to talk about that because the technology is definitely being used against us. And I'm a freestyle. This is nothing to read from because Black cyber genocide. This leads into that. The algorithms of social media always brings us that dish that we never ordered at the restaurant. At the restaurant, and you get in your doggy bag, and they bring this other bag. Like, oh, here's your stuff. I say, wait a second, this ain't my stuff. This must be somebody else's. Restaurant about to close. They can't do nothing with it. They're not going to sell the next day. But just go ahead and take it. I don't even eat this. Try it out. Give it to somebody. It might be something you like. Might be something bad for you. There's a lot of good things online. It's not all bad. But it's not what's being served to us. We always go to the worst. Why is that? You learn a new language. You always learn the curse words first. Now, I haven't studied Tree, the Ghanaian language, and there are other languages here also. Too much to name, but many people here, oh, you have not learned Tree? Huh? You got to learn Tree. You're in Ghana now. But I found out there's so many different dialects of Tree. Like, where am I going to start? Because if you come from the Volta region and come down around Accra, folks ain't going to understand you. It's like they got to learn a whole new language. I don't want to do that. I learned a few words. Well, how did I learn this word? Some girl told me this. I know her. And they were really around talking. I was kind of like waiting around for Mr. Scurv to come out from the store. And they were talking and giggling in their language. I said, yeah, there's a couple guys there too. I said, y'all talking about something nasty, ain't you? It's universal. I knew they were saying something, they were whispering, looking around. I said, what are y'all talking about? Oh, we were talking about sexual things. I said, yeah, I can figure that out. But what were you talking about? About the word come. I say, what now? About the word come. You mean C-O-M-E? Kind of, sort of, but you know how they spell it in the books and the magazines, they C-U-M. That's what you're talking about come for. Well, this girl asked me, my friend here, what do I say when I'm coming? I said, well, you probably say you coming. But no, in Tree, it's Mahimba. Mahomba. I'm sorry, Mahomba. I don't know Tree, but I know what it's like. Oh, well, we all know what it's like to come. But I know the word for coming. So what do you say? Oh my God. I'm Mahomba. It's crazy. Let me get back on track, y'all. But the Black cyber genocide. And so to bring some light to this for some folks in the back that may not know what the word genocide means, you just have to remind them. The intentional destruction of a people in whole. Genocide is the intentional destruction of a people in whole or in part. In 1948, the United Nations Genocide Convention defined genocide as any of 5 acts committed with intent to destroy in whole or in part a national, ethnical, racial, or religious group. So we know the racial part of it, right? We know that part, and that's what it is, but they can do it now through the algorithms because what do you see? I really, maybe I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. You don't see no Chinese woman on the daggone YouTube. The Chinese man no good. He lazy. I don't want Chinese man. Chinese man no good. He smell like duck sauce. What? You don't hear them saying that. You don't hear the Chinese man talking bad about the Chinese woman. Maybe they may not get along with one woman or something to say so, but they don't even say that online. They have code. They don't disrespect each other. They don't air out dirty laundry perceptions because half of these people are hurt. And come on, y'all, just like I spoke about the gay agenda and a lot of homosexuals that I've crossed paths with online. Oh, there is no gay agenda. Now they're saying, yo, it's obvious now. In Hollywood, many of the stars, what they call stars, who have children. And I was handed a list, and I wish I had it to read off, but so many so-called well-known celebrities have gay and trans. There's a lot of trans going on. And we ain't talking about like back in the day on the radio, Trans Europe Express. I mean, that's the way to introduce the word trans to the subconscious mind. Even though I like that song, I got my corny jokes. What do you call a trans person who goes to the Parent Teachers Association meeting? A trans parent. I want to make a shirt like that, right? There'll be so many of these weirdos coming at me. Yeah, but they're breaking us down. Black woman against black man. Ain't it something? And I have to say, I personally know some sisters who were done wrong by some brothers. I'm not going to lie. I can't say this in an impartial way. I'm not going to be one-sided. But this thing is infectious, man. I mean, it gets around. And we do have a lot of black women who don't understand, especially in corporate America, it's going to be easy to get jobs and position because that's by design. The black man must be pushed out. Yes, we do have some black men who have fallen victim to what the system wants, and they get locked up and all, and the selling of drugs and stuff because we feel that there's nothing else, whatever. And the dysfunctional families and help to bring, it's just one big mess. But we have a brain that we use lots of times to get down with something decadent or get down with something that's going to land us in a bad place. Why can't we be brilliant enough? Because we have it, we don't use it. I'm going to tell y'all, I'm brilliant. I didn't fall for the traps, but it wasn't because I'm so brilliant also. My parents, the infrastructure in the community. You go sit on the front steps of one of your neighbors' houses and they got people your age and you hang out, and the father, the mother, oh, good afternoon, Lance. How are you? We were talking last night about so and so, and even other people's parents educate you. And they're about worthwhile stuff. We always had that house on the block where the cops kept coming. But that was around the crack era. But I had a beautiful childhood, y'all. Wonderful neighborhood. Tyler Perry ain't got nothing on my memories where he makes movies that people connect with. I got thoughts. And if I told you about the characters in my very block that had 39 houses, from 105th Avenue to 107th Avenue and on 134th Street, where I grew up. Born in Washington Heights, but from 68 on, when I was 5 years old, I was in Richmond Hill, Queens, right next to the Jamaica borderline. But I give Jamaica their props because you go too far into the Richmond Hill back then, they chase you, they jump out of trees, they throw bricks at you. I've been through that. And don't pass Lefferts Boulevard back in the day, right? So most of my action, my friends and people I hung out with as I got older were more in Jamaica, Queens and St. Albans and Cambria Heights and down Merrick Boulevard and all of those places there. Just got to name drop a little bit for those who know. So we had our sense of community. And we had strong males that were there. Yes, there was a heroin problem that was evident all over the city, but really in Manhattan, but it was in Queens too. And it hit my home because my brother was on it. On crack, whatever's out there, he was on. Brilliant as he was. If he would get on, I always say it, I give credit where credit's due. If he held the mic and got on this show, they'd be like, Lance, we don't want to hear you no more. You corny. Your brother's way more brilliant than you. He knew the corporate stuff. He knew the intellectual stuff. He was out of college. He knew the street stuff. He could hang with it. He could go to a corporate boardroom, bedazzle the old white men and go in the corner and hang out with people. And they're like, oh, man, you know a lot, man. And change up. And really and truly, I kind of learned that from him. How he can switch gears. Gift of gab. I don't have the gift of gab. He got the gift of gab. You see what I mean? I heard Angel say it. I did too, Lance. I called myself the poor little rich girl. Oh, that's cool. But the algorithms have been manipulated. We get served. Look, I'll be online doing my work, setting up stuff. Because it takes a lot of, like tonight, I really went in with distribution and making sure everywhere, everything is out there the proper way. The way I know I've learned over the years, because sometimes it's like, let me just get on my phone and just say something. But this thing is so engineered. And I could be on the computer, on one computer doing the work, and I have another computer playing YouTube or some music. And then I go back to the home page of YouTube. And because a friend of mine may have sent me some booty stuff with the thong and shaking up, they're all still men, but the guys are saying, come on, Lance, look at this, man. And I open it up. When I get back on the computer again, there's 10 booties on there next time. They're pushing this stuff. And what's a young guy to do? Hormones raging, and you see all of this stuff? You see, all we had was magazines that we found in maybe in older siblings between the mattress or something. I found an old Playboy magazine, September 1973. I was 10 years old. Miss September. Now, I wasn't trying to look at white women that way, but I was amazed at what I saw. You know what I mean? I saw the full titty. I was transfixed. I was there. I was like 10 minutes. I was in shock. I wanted to take the magazine to my room. I don't know what I was going to do with it, but I wanted to see more and investigate. So if a magazine can do that, you got free stuff on your computer and you a young boy. So you're going to have look, you got dudes out here, 14, 15 years old. I hear them on the bus when they used to drive the bus in Orlando, Florida. Talk about fetishes. I mean, I was lucky at that age to get my hand on a titty in agreement. And you talk about your fetishes. So you're really messed up. You're over-sexualized and done too early. Do you bake a meal that's supposed to be in the oven for an hour and take it out after 10 minutes? It's not where it's supposed to be. And so we view women a certain way. I'm not saying I do. I'm old school. Or at least fake it like some of the old school dudes. They just want one thing, but at least they know how to tip their hat and show some manners. But then, this is the thing I want to say. I'm going to jump right into it. That's why Kevin Samuels was so controversial. He told it like it was. And I don't say that because I'm against black women. Y'all know I'm for black women. But not the ratchet, hateful kind that you can put down. And if you think I'm saying it, I'm going to say this. Out of what they call the modern day black woman, I am not against any black woman making lots of money. I'm not against that. But when they use it as a weapon to say, well, a black man got to match me, when you know that even the good black men, and there's a whole lot of good black men out here, that they got some odds against them, and most of them are not crying victim. But there are things, it's like swimming upstream. It's like trying to fight gravity. It's like trying to look at the sun and say, I'm going to blow out the sun. It ain't going to happen. Now, you do have success stories, but, you know, wherever a black man has achieved, he could have gotten further if he wasn't in that system. That sometimes destroys his mind, and he's not trying as hard. He's like, I can't get there anyway. I'm not saying all. We got good brothers on this line like Mad Guns Forever. Powerful brother. We got powerful brothers here. I pale in comparison to some of the brothers that come up on the show here. I learned from them. So I got to talk straight. You know what I mean? But I'm just not against this thing where they're so hateful toward black men when they should know the deal. I'm not going to build with no black man. He need to be where and why is it just about money, sisters? Let me tell you something. There's no Gifty. Yes, yes, yes. Is it live? Is it live? Is it old live? No. Check this out. The thought hit me today and knocked me down. Knocked me down. Yeah, we're going to talk straight. We're going to talk straight. Is it live? No, it's Memorex. Listen. The modern day attitude having, I don't mean modern day that you have opportunities and you went to school and you advanced yourself. I applaud that. But where's the venom coming from? You might have dealt with a knucklehead or two or a few of them. And maybe you weren't taught how to choose a good man. But where's the venom coming from? And I'm going to tell you this. What's not going to happen coming out of the modern day black woman who puts black men down and has attitudes. You are not going to produce a Betty Shabazz or a Coretta Scott King out of these types of women who are there for their man, who are actually the backbone of their man. Whatever you feel about Martin Luther King, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., he would not be who he is on the strength tip if it wasn't for Coretta. And they say behind every great man is a great woman, and we modified it. Behind every great black man is a great black woman. In this world, you better have one. So why are you coming against us like this when we're supposed to be here for you? And brothers, we got some brothers who they ain't into the sisters. They ain't into them. We're catching it from both sides. The Karens are coming after both of us. The white men, you know, the ones who are racist in power, they're coming after, and we coming against each other. There ain't nothing like a black woman. There ain't nothing like a black woman. I'm married. If I was single, I ain't running nowhere else other than a black woman. The black woman ain't got to have no weave and no eyelashes, whatever. If I didn't meet Mrs. Scurv and I was just in America and had to deal with this kind of stuff, I'd come right out here to Africa and go right up in the country somewhere and love a black woman. She ain't got to be so sophisticated, because these women out here, I'm not saying all of them now, because a lot of them are getting poisoned with the whole mentality of the West. Not the majority, but it's happening here. Why? Because of this damn TikTok. The damn TikTok. They want to be done up, and they want, you know, they want the money and they want stuff. Not all of them. There are a lot of good women out here. And there's some good women in America too. I'm not dissing my sisters there. But these days, women are not groomed to be wives. And a lot of men are not groomed to be husbands. And we have an interlocking role. But there are special people in our communities and in our neighborhoods and in our world that really are not wired for that. They have other roles. It ain't gonna be everybody. Granted, there's some dudes out here, they're supposed to be who they're supposed to be. I'm talking about as a straight male, and they may not be married. Their role may not be that in the community, and we are so damaged. Triage, y'all. How do we deal with the damage? How do we expect greatness coming around with this damage? How? We got to heal it first. We got to make it right. We just can't go on like this. How you going to break a man's leg and expect him to run a race and beat everybody in the race? Can't do it. We need healing. We need to reconnect to the Creator. We got so many strange religions and we're running behind it. Even if you don't do a religion, understand that there's a spiritual aspect to our being that's been destroyed. All the other people out there with their decadence, and we running behind it, and they make us the face of it. If it was a fashion to take panties that were full of turd and put it on our head and walk down the street, we'll be the best ones doing it. We always take what they do and become the best at it, and they'll put it on the front of Time magazine. Turd heads. How come black people are the best at it? Righteousness is corny and decadence is in style, and we're the best at it. I couldn't walk down the street and pass a neighbor who was taking groceries out of the trunk of their car and not offer help. If the boys in the neighborhood saw one of the women who might be single, maybe the father died or something was wrong, we're supposed to help her. And we're supposed to refuse the money that she offered, the little chump change for ice cream. No, it's okay, it's okay. It's okay, it's okay. And then they go to my mother or my father and say, listen, and they'll take it. They'll be okay. You know, it's okay to do that. But we're not looking for that. It's the joy of giving to each other. What happened to that? What happened to that when you had a woman who might be 90 years old around the corner from you, and you did all this big food shopping? And you mean to tell me you're going to have a Thanksgiving for those who celebrate that? We know the history of it. But you're going to eat anyway. You know black folks going to look for any excuse to eat. And you can't say, oh, tell that lady, get yourself ready tomorrow. We're going to have you come over as a guest. You see what I mean? What happened to that kind of consideration? I got my food. I don't care a damn about you. Let's find the people who are hungry. Mr. Scurv and I would go down to where the homeless were on Terry Street, right by my bus route, where they had the homeless shelter. A lot of the people could not go in there. Some of them had drug issues, mental issues. Some didn't want the restriction of having to be in by 11 o'clock at night or 10 or whatever the curfew was. But they could still use the facilities, but they didn't get all the amenities, and we would go down there. We got old videotapes, and we weren't videotaping it to say, look, we're good people doing this. But I did want to capture that and file it away. It's gone now. It's okay. That's what's happening. And when we made stuff, the stuff that Mrs. Scurv made, you'd want to eat, and we would have given it to the homeless. That brown stew chicken that she made, man, that I loved so much when I was eating chicken before I turned vegan, but I'm not vegan no more. Don't want to be a vegan no more. I'm still plant-based with a few other things in it. I've evolved. But she made it as though she's going to make it for her family and make it for herself. And that food was good. They couldn't believe it. And we had a lot in the trunk and in the back seat. And so we just kept giving it. Some people got seconds and thirds. They were like, yo, I don't know what kind of food this is, man, but I ain't never tasted nothing like this. Ain't nobody come out here and give nothing to us like that. What happened to that cohesiveness, that connectedness? What happened? Where is the love? We're so quick to mean mug each other. We're so quick to throw off an attitude on a brother who's holding the door for you. And you may think he's trying to get next to you or talk to you. That really hurts. To the sisters out there, I'm going to admit it, that hurts. Because I have a lot of love in my heart for y'all. And I've been shown some nasty attitudes. I'm not blaming you. Maybe you've been through stuff, whatever. And that's one thing that helps to break a brother down. And like I said, I'm married. I don't need to be looking trying to get next to you. I'm doing it because I want to do it, because I know how the world can come at you. I know how the world can tear you down like it tears me down. Why can't I boost you up? I ain't looking for nothing. I'm not looking for nothing. I might see you got a nice looking backside and little boobies, but come on, is that all you are? I see the full majesty of womanhood. I see the mother that you are. Even if you don't have children, you have a mothering spirit. I see that you're a daughter. I see that you're a sister. Yeah? We're supposed to feed each other this thing that we can't get from nowhere else. The kitchens on a spiritual level of the others don't have nothing for us on their menu to feed us. But the type of treatment that we get and how our minds are messed up, and these aggressive algorithms that attach themselves to us like blood-sucking leeches, that becomes our reality. We start to believe that this is reality, and it reflects. It's life imitating algorithms. What the hell is wrong with us? It's crazy. We got to do better. We got to do better. Who else do we have? Even if you don't want to be married or be with anybody, but who else do you have? Do you ever sometimes think about, well, if a tragedy happened, who can I call? And lots of times now in 2024, we really can't call anybody. Some of us have family and friends and whatever, but who can we really call? When it comes time for when we're stabbed deep in our heart from the accumulation of things that have been happening to us, And it starts to affect our mental. It starts to affect our spirit. It starts to take away our enthusiasm. Who do we go to where we can just hug them? Who do we go to who just listen to us and take time and respond to us in a customized way? Because that person sees how valuable you are and how precious you are. It ain't about genitalia. I love my sisters. Some of them are out of line though. And I can't be around some of them. I've had that experience here online. Because the algorithms got them. And it made their world smaller. Instead of keeping a broad view over the horizon to see what's coming as a collective to harm us, to protect us, to love each other. There's all kind of love out there. Why can't I say I love you? I got male friends that say, man, I love you. I ain't no homo. There's gay dudes that I know from growing up. I love them. I don't love what they do. I'm not into that. They know that. Hey, bro, you know I love you. I ain't with that stuff you do. Right? But you part of my world. I can't shun you. Don't invite me to other parties because I ain't going to show up. But if you need me as a human being, I'm here for you. If somebody's bothering you and you didn't do nothing out of whack to them, like grabbing some man's balls, if you catch a beat down, I can't help you grab the man's balls. He ain't like that. You can't do that. But if people know what you are, but you keep to yourself and whatever, and I'm going to go out there and I'm going to beat their ass for you. And I ain't like that. I can't say, oh, well, he that way, so I ain't gonna mess around. See? Because that one very person might be the one that after you die as a father, he might look after your daughter in some kind of way. It's not always financial. Oh, you know, your daddy was so good to me, and I'm gonna be here for you, and so on, so on, so on, so on. See, we find out how things are when death comes, which is really transition. I say death for effect. We really find out the people resources that we have. Because half the time they trying to get the stuff that the dead person, what they had. Well, you that couch you got, what you gonna do with it? I like that lamp. You know what I mean? It's crazy. And that's how it is. It's reality. And the reality that we see and the reality that we perceive through these engineered algorithms, it throws mud on the rose-colored glasses that we're supposed to be wearing. And again, we're not always supposed to look through rose-colored. We got to look at reality, but it just messes up any semblance of feeling of love and togetherness and connectedness. The glow in my heart that I would have when I was around friends and it's the summertime and we out of school and we getting something good to eat that we can go by my house and get more good stuff to eat and we play a little bit and we laughing. I was a joke-telling fool. Changed up the words of songs and always made people laugh. That's what I brought. That was my gift. Well, here come Lance. We're going to have a good time now because that brother crazy. And even some of them didn't say brother. They said the N-word affection. That nigga crazy. So what's up, Lance? What's going on? I break out singing something or make it. And when I made fun of somebody, it wasn't venomous. Because I let people make fun of me too. Even I'd make fun of myself and they laugh at me. I didn't have no problem with that. It was all love. What happened to them times, y'all? What happened to those times when the sun shined brighter? You can look up at the sun now. It just don't seem like the sun shines brighter. I'm saying this symbolically. The food at the cookout down the block where you can go and get a free burger or two. Because come on, go on in the back, they get you a burger, child. What happened to the old ladies like that? What happened? That's what I miss. That's why I'm hurting. I'm hurting, man. I didn't expect 2024 to be like this. I said, yeah, by the time, when you're younger, I remember off the top of my head, I think I was like 5 or 6 years old. I said, Mommy, how old am I going to be in the year 2000? Well, you're going to be 37. You're going to turn 37. Wow. I bet it's gonna be like the Jetsons then. I didn't know at 38 the World Trade Center was gonna come down. I watched it go up, right? It's coming down. Change is gonna come. And I just knew when I get older and I have a house and I have a car and I have a wife and I'm gonna be grown, I can do whatever I want to do, whatever, the world gonna be nice. Because we based it on what we thought. And yeah, there were tragedies. Yeah, there was dysfunction in people's lives. Understand that. I don't hide the fact, like I said, that I have a drug addicted brother, older brother. I love him, 11 years older than me, but he was never around that much anyway. So I still say I had a wonderful childhood and experiences. And that's why I can do what I do, freestyle. I read a couple little articles or whatever have you, but this is all freestyle. I can do that because I lived it. And I'm not going to stop until it comes back. Even if, I'm not saying the whole world's going to turn that way. We know the craziness of the world and how most of us are messed up. But my little circle, which can be a bigger circle, but I'm not trying to add on too many people right away. Like I said, well, Lance, man, you should be having a whole lot more people on your stream than 19 people. Well, this is a new channel. It used to be more. It'll come back even more. But if I don't have 20,000 people watching, that's a lot of people. Half of them might be frauds. Yeah? I love you too, Mad Guns. I'm just seeing this. Yes. And thank you, Blissfully, too. I always say thank you to remind me you appreciate it. Earth Angel, Lance, I just love your wisdom. Oh, thank you so much. And Mad Guns Forever said, I love you, Lance. No duty, of course, right. I love you too, brother. Always, oh man, down through the years, always. And they're gonna see how great you are when you come back on the show when you have time. You know? Symbolically, Gifty Sine said symbolically, literally, because Gil Bates. Gil Bates, check that out how she did that, right? Is blocking the sun. It's you know, in the modern day, you know, you get older and you can let a few curses rip, but I was never gonna cuss around my parents, right? And so I don't know if he's listening now or not. I sent him the link, my friend Angelo. We knew each other from 1969 when I was 6 years old. And when we were talking last night, maybe I'll talk to him a little bit, only get him on the show. He could tell you about little embarrassing stories me when I was younger. But we were around good people, decent people. And so we used to have this, it's not a game we used to play, but other people would cuss, like, you know, 11, 12 years old, they cuss under their breath, whatever. Oh, he's cussing. And we turned around to cuss, the curse. I wouldn't say, yeah, I'll cuss somebody out now and say MF or whatever. My mouth is not dirty, it's selectively dirty. Right? So we wouldn't say MF, but we would say father mucker. The same time she said Gil Bates, we switched the words around. Father mucker. Hey, you father mucker, you bun of a sitch, you can kiss my glass. And we bust out laughing. It's funny though. I'll tell you a little funny story about Angelo. I know he won't mind me telling this story because we lived across the street from each other. And I had a radio scanner that had the full range. There wasn't any cutouts in frequency. So I forgot the real frequencies, right? But say it was like, say, 1 to 2,600 megahertz or something. Most would have certain bands, you know, frequencies cut out. So you couldn't hear certain things. But I had the one that had full frequency, which meant it picked up the cell phone towers and it picked up the cordless phones in the neighborhood. So Angelo had a girlfriend over by his house and his folks were going, we were younger, you know? And so I had the scanner and he's talking to his girlfriend and she's getting ready to come over, but they're on the phone and he was really cursing then. And I'm like, yo, man, I heard you on the scanner. And he never really got on the phone up. Just make short calls. I'm ordering 2 pizzas, whatever. Lance, if you're listening, you're a bad guy, man. You messed up. Anyway, he would really cuss having phone sex with her. And I'm like, it's funny hearing you curse, man. Wasn't no father muckers then. He was saying it. I'm like, man. So anyway, it's those good times that, you know, even if we went into the gray area, it was just a good, we walked around with a good feeling in our heart. And if something bad happened to somebody, we felt bad. We cried. We wanted to reach out. We wanted to undergird those people around us. Some of them we half knew. Some of them we might have had a problem with them, but when something tragic would happen, we throw that away. Now you can't even do that. Folks don't throw nothing away. Now there's certain situations where you blatantly try to tear me down and disrespect me and run me down. No, I can't trust you. We all have little mishaps or in funny moods and say something and we straighten it out. But pound for pound these days, I don't expect much because most of the people are not looking to heal. They're just looking to indulge, just looking to indulge in the decadence and not go higher. We all have some little quirk or some little thing we do. We got good people, maybe on this chat right now, or just watching or listening. They may have that little bottle behind the couch they sip on a little bit. I'm not mad at you. You might get the little jar of Vaseline to put yourself asleep because you ain't got nobody, or sometime when you do have somebody. You know what I mean? You might not like somebody that you see in the church that you go to. You might not like somebody we're energy. This is one big puzzle. Life is one big puzzle, and we got to figure this thing out before we're out of here. We may not figure the whole thing out. You might apply for a job and get 85%, and there's thousands above you that got from 85 to 100. It doesn't mean you're not qualified. You might get it. I was telling somebody the other day, like when I moved down to Orlando and applied for the corrections job, and they got back to me immediately. But you in the bigger cities like New York and you apply for a civil service job. I applied one time, decades ago for sanitation. The bad boys called me 4 years after that. That's the difference, right? But nonetheless, we had a good feeling when we saw each other because we saw home in each other. A familiar place, a familiar face. We felt the love. Everything would come flooding back to us of all the good times that we had. We just start smiling. And just walking down the street together, smiling. Nobody said anything. We just walking and smiling. Maybe we'll walk 3 blocks and before we start talking. It's like when you see your favorite comedian that made you laugh so hard, and you don't know what he's going to say because there's new material, but you know he's going to have you crack it up. So the guy or the woman don't even say a word yet, and you break out laughing. That's the feeling we had. We might go to work and not talk to each other much during the week, right? But when we get together on the weekend or maybe that evening that we don't have to go to work the next day, whatever have you, the conversation and the feeling continued. It was perpetual. It wasn't like, oh, I ain't see you in 2 months, so we got to start all over again. No. It's a different world. Different world. And Riri said, the sun refuses to be blocked out. So to hell with Bill Gates of hell. He's probably getting a text right now at this very message that you just put out there. Well, I'll remember, Riri. You know what I mean? These people are vindictive, big time. Oh, boy, you just don't know. But you know what? We're going to do this again tomorrow night. It may not be the exact same. Night for me, because right now it's 11:08. And it got all these mangoes in this bag. I killed 2 of them. I got 8 more to go. I'm going to knock off 3 tonight. Yes, I am. Whole side of my face is going to be sweet. Mango juice all over. But yeah, that's the kind of thoughts I wanted to say in freestyle. I'm going to come up with something tomorrow night. Maybe something kind of similar. I still do want to go in on the sexes. How we treat each other. And there is something I want to talk about. I already know what it is. The Black family and our dysfunctions and, the Black family from different countries, how they view things, the resentments. It's not going to be negative, but a couple little things were forwarded to me personally from people that I know. And I got to talk about it. I'm going to talk about it in a way where it doesn't, and I have permission to do so, right? But I'm not going to do so specific. I'm going to mix it up with some other things so they don't think I'm, hey, man, I sent you that and I showed you that. You got permission to talk about it, but you were too specific. No, I'm not going to do that. I'll keep it broad, but I will go in on certain points. We have to. Listen, we can't keep sweeping stuff up under the rug, y'all. We need to talk about things. We need to expose things. It's painful. But somehow, some way, you know, we know the Bible has been tampered with. We know that, but we got something inside of us that knows right from wrong. We don't need, I'm not going to say you don't need no Bible, right? I'm not going to insult people who are Christian, right? Or Muslim or Judaism, whatever. But the bottom line, we know, like that dog that we had growing up, that know that he ain't supposed to doo-doo in the backyard. There's a designated area where we allow him to do it. We come home from shopping, and he's sitting there looking all sorry and sticking his tongue out. He did something wrong because you knew it, dog. And we as human beings know it. And whether people, acknowledge, you call him the Honorable Elijah Muhammad or just Elijah Muhammad, there's something that he spoke on when I was a young boy. I read about this later on. I heard Ms. Farrakhan talk about it, about the young girl who came to him and said, and it's really funny because we know what Elijah Muhammad did, right? But let's forget about that part, right? A young girl that came to him, I know you can go somewhere else with that story, and basically said, "Oh, I'm pregnant. I'm pregnant. I'm pregnant. I don't know what to do, and I don't think I did anything wrong, but I ended up pregnant." You ended up pregnant. So he asked her, he said, "Well, where did you do it? Where did you do the act to get pregnant? Did you do it in a room with your parents, in front of your parents? Did you do it in the middle of the street?" I'm adding on to the story now, make it funny. Did you do it in the middle of the street in 5 o'clock rush hour traffic on the double yellow line with the news cameras recording y'all? No. We went in the room and did it in the dark because you knew it was wrong. I'm not saying lovemaking or, proper relationships is wrong, but when you sneak in and doing stuff, whatever have you, that was my whole life. That's all I did was sneak. I'm not glorifying it, but that's just human nature. That's just how it is. And another thing I want to say to all of you before I go, stop beating yourself down on things that you may have done in the past. Even if you knew what you were doing, this is a new day. This is 2024. And stop letting people beat you over the head with the stuff you may have foolishly done in the past. Stop it. Stop it. Don't let them do that to you. Have you walking around guilty in 2024 because of something that happened in 1988. And they keep bringing it up to knock you down, to stop you from your growth. How dare they? How dare they? Would you say we be hilarious? Earth Angel said, yes, we ain't talking. I've noticed families won't get together to discuss importance of the family functions, expectations, goals, etc. Oh boy, I could tell you things about certain families. The sabotage and the venom and the hate and the dysfunction, and they maintain proximity like a satellite to the earth. The satellite always stays in a fixed position unless something's wrong and they got to move it out so it can, families, DNA sharers. That's what I call them. We have few DNA sharers who are truly family these days. And I love to see, and I know some families who share DNA and who are truly family. And of course, they're not going to exactly be the same. And I know some families who are split politically, all of them are different religions, but you know what? They come together and they love each other. Like I said, this life can be a puzzle and oftentimes an obstacle course. But it's something that we have to figure out. Yeah, we can compare, but, and think or ask advice from the trusted people. Like I said on that video I did yesterday in the backyard when it was raining on my shoulder, you got to be careful who you get your advice with and from. And I'm blessed to have one or two people that I know I can go to, and they will tell me like it is. They'll let me know when it's good, and they let me know when I effed up, or if I'm heading in a direction that I can't really understand. This is why we have to be here for each other. You ain't gonna do it on your own successfully like that. Yeah, you can go make money. You get the job, make money, have a certain career. But in the midnight hour, when you go to bed, you doze off to sleep, do you have that feeling of fulfillment, true fulfillment that's saturating every fiber of your being? And you're so thankful for life. Me, I'm gonna tell you how I am. This is not even me making it up. Growing up, man, I had so much fun. I felt so positive. I felt like I was part of something bigger, so constructive. My high was fighting sleep because I didn't want to end the day. I'm like, oh, I want to stay up. My high was waking up. Even if I was a little tired, I'd lay there until I was fully awake if I had the luxury, right? But I was so enthusiastic for the day. Just like I woke up this morning before the sun came up. I was out of the house by what, about 5:45? To tell my business, I had to go to the bank, ATM. I wanted to get back. I forgot that this was Sunday. And I was so excited thinking about, I got to do a live show today. I'm not slacking. I got a lot that I'm doing, y'all. A lot. And it's coming together. But I was so tired when I came in because I woke up so early and came back and it started raining. You know how it is when it's raining. You know? I fell asleep, got up, and I said, you know what? I'm taking my time. We're going to go live tonight. Good old-fashioned way. And I'm going to do it tomorrow. Maybe longer, may not be as long. We're going to get that. And I'm going to touch some things that I see, not thrown off on anybody here, but I'm just saying within our community, within our families, that we got to stop it. I'm saying this overall. We were more loving to each other on the damn plantation. Yeah, we had the coons that wanted to get favor with Massa and go back and tell certain things. Yeah, they plan on escaping 2 o'clock in the morning with Harriet Tubman. It was always that faction, always that Judas there. But overall, we knew that we needed to depend on each other for life itself. And when you got in, I mean, it's terrible. Whether they had a shack or some kind of, basic quarters. You as the man and you have your wife, you see the slave master coming out your shack, pulling up his pants and pulling up his zipper, and you go in, you see your wife on her back crying. Man, there's things we had to endure. See, I don't think I'd live long as a slave. I'm just one of them types. Heck to the no. I get a whole bunch of them too. And you know what? I got that spirit today. That's why I'm glad I'm not in America. Because like I told people, the day I stop doing shows, the day you don't see me online, oh God, where's Lance at? Say to Bonnie, where he at? And you see me walking through a mall with a serious look on my hey, Lancescurv, and I walk past you like I don't know you. I'm gone. Something's going to happen. That ancestral spirit's going to come back and want a little bit of revenge. Now, please, 5 white agents who may be close by, don't show up at my gate. You know I ain't going to do nothing. Unless you make me. I take my stuff out in a creative way with my words, my art, my writing, and just freestyling like this. What happened to us, man? And we did it to ourselves with all the things that are against us. We fell victim to these poisonous algorithms, old TV shows that were setting us up, feminist movement and crack, and crack, man, is still there. But it took away a whole generation. People in my class from school coming up, half of them are gone. if they're not transitioned, they ain't right in their head. I'd say a third of them or a quarter of them are all right. But there's 75% who has been affected and their minds are not right. And it hurts me to see that they were young and had such promise. Could have been brilliant and had the cure for AIDS or the cure for cancer or some cure for something or helping people large or small. We're all great. We all have a gift and we have something to give back. And that was taken away. The jokes I share with people who are not even here. The songs I play that make me think about these people that were near and dear to my heart. The jokes that we had. Got a little young buddy who used to hang around. I was a couple years older, but he hung around with everybody who was older. Named Antoine. He had asthma. And he could be a pain in the backside sometimes because he was a little younger. Because he kind of hung around us and he was learning our little bit of game, like we learned the game from other people. I'm not saying game like it's some drug game where we just want to be womanizers, but just life. So he was, ahead of his time for his age. I think he died at 22. When he was like 18, 19, he was always around us. He still was. But he never saw 25, never saw 30, never saw 40. I never forget him. He used to call me Farrakhan. It was a weird joke we had, right? Because I used to have all these Farrakhan tapes. He said, I know when you're up, because I used to hear Farrakhan as soon as I hit the corner of your block. I had the VHS tapes. But we had this song, what is it? Phone Tap. You got your phone tapped. What you gonna do? Because sooner or later, we'll have your whole crew. But the instrumental, it sounded so like through the Islamish in a cool way when they're walking down the street. So one day he was calling me Farrakhan, and I broke out with a dance that kind of looked like that. He cracked up, and from then on he used to call me Farrakosmic. I'll never forget. I said, "How about cosmic?" You know what I mean? But we have memories of people, man, and we gotta make memories. We gotta affect the people with good memories. That's my gift. That's what I want to bring to people. Remember back there, man, last back in 1989? Man, you had me laughing so hard. My friend Big Ty and Carlos and all of us went to this diner on Queens Boulevard, right by the Queens Center Mall. I don't know if it's still there. I'm gonna Google it and see if it's still there. It was an all-night diner called the Georgia Diner. And I was in full comedic mode. And we were cracking jokes on each other. And they had people of different races around, Middle Eastern people, like that. And some of the waitresses and waiters and whatnot. And we weren't loud, but we were loud enough for them to hear. And I said something. I forgot what I said. The dude 2 tables down spit his wine up. He had an accent. You are so funny. You were telling jokes. We could not hold you, trying to act polite with it. I said, no. He said, and then he asked me, can you joke on me? I was like, what? I said, you better pull them feet back, man. Them shoes ain't looking too healthy. People started pulling chairs up. That was a classic night at the Georgia Diner. Even the waitresses were standing around. And it wasn't just me joking, but I was the one who was dishing it out. And we've been talking about that for years. Remember the Georgia Diner that night? We even went back. And it wasn't the same. We tried, but it was fun. It was always fun. But there's certain nights and certain times when you're with special people, it's almost like the heavens open up and grant you this extra energy, and you're living it, and you know at that very moment, even though it's the present, that it's nostalgic and magical, and you know you're never going to forget it for the rest of your life. It could be you and old grandmama sitting in the living room with old black and white TV, and something happens, and it's something that you share. Those quick moments that you never forget. And you hear the song on the radio or on YouTube and you think about that. But we're so toxic right now and dysfunctional right now and so caught up in the algorithmic and non-syllables, right? Madness and dysfunction and toxicity that it blinds us. Imagine driving down the street in a car where you just took black paint and put it all over the windshield, you can't see. That's a sure disaster. That's why we have a disaster now, because we're not connected. What good is it to buy a brand new fridge, go shopping, a big fridge, double door fridge, deep, buy all the food to fill it up, and you don't plug the refrigerator in the wall? Your food's going to be spoiled. Not all of it, but most of it's going to get spoiled because you're not connected. Blessings to you, sweet D. Much love. Yes, indeed. Oh, I saw what you said, Gifty Nat Turner. Yeah, I wouldn't live too long on the plantation. I'd try to fake it, you know what I mean? But after a while, even the slave master would see me walking toward him and Lance. He'd start running, throw his rifle down, because you're going to shoot me a couple of times. I'm going to keep on coming at you. That's right. What happened in those times? You can have those times every single day. I remember I was driving my old girlfriend's mother around, and she was always amazed at how I knew New York City well and how to get around. She said, I've never seen nothing like this before. You know the city so well. So she would always ask me, like, she'd do different jobs and stuff. And, where is this? Where is that? Where? I said, come on, I'll take you. Because I was a driveraholic in New York. I look for excuses to drive and talk and go see things. And if you were cool with me, you were never bored. Because this show I'm doing now, we're talking about this, but that's the way I was growing up. That's the way I was. We're hanging out. We could go over Lance's house. That was a Lancescurv show before there was the internet in my life. And I remember we were coming down Linden Boulevard. We just crossed over Sutphin Boulevard. We were heading west, heading toward Linden and Guy Brewer, which was formerly New York Boulevard, and Merritt Boulevard, right? And by the time we got almost in front of the Rib Shack, I like dropping names in the videos because like people will listen to, yeah, man, I remember that. This video will be 8 years old. They'll be like, oh, man, you know the Rib Shack? Yeah, ate there many a night. Didn't eat the ribs, though. There was a broken umbrella. It was windy. Raindrops were starting to come down, but it wasn't a full force yet. There was a broken umbrella. Everything was broke off the whole whatchamacallit, the whole pole, the staff, the whatever. It was just the umbrella, and the umbrella was open and on the ground. And the way the wind blew, I had my old girlfriend's mother. She passed on, the rest of her soul. And we looked at this umbrella blowing across the street, crawling across the street like it was a spider. And we looked at each other. Why did I never forgot that. Little moments you just never forget. But you got to be clear in your spirit and clear in your heart. You may not be perfect, but you have to be cleansed to be able to connect. The terminals on a battery, if they got rust and not making a good connection, it's not going to work right. They got that little thing, like a little Brillo thing, you can rub and clean off the terminal so it can make a full connection. Who are we fully connected to now? Who are we fully connected to now? And even if it's a semblance of a connection, it's not a full connection because the dirt we got in our heart or the things that were inflicted on us as far as trauma that we haven't cleaned off yet. It's slowing down the connection. Hence, the modern day black woman who despises black men and the black men who say, I can't take it and I'm going to go to another country. I'm a passport brother and I'm going to go somewhere else. And it's still waiting for you there in a different form. You know what I mean? We got to acknowledge there's a problem first. You don't have a pain in your body and say you have to go to the doctor and the doctor asks you, well, okay, what's going on? What do you have pain? Where is it? No, doc, I don't have no pain. And you know you hurt. You're not going to get well unless you admit and acknowledge and help out the healers in your life to pinpoint what it is. It's not pleasant. You have to unearth the trauma or unearth the things that ain't right with you from within. The sun will finally once again shine brighter. Man, the sun was shining bright in 75, 76, 77, 78, 1980, 81, 82. Bodybuilding and just walking around full of energy. Y'all think I got energy now at 61 years old. You should have seen me at 19. People who didn't know me would go to my friends, yo, man, you sure he ain't got a habit? What you mean? Only habit he got is girls. Oh man, I think he's sniffing coke. No, 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 no. Never did. Never did. I was gonna tell a dirty joke. I don't smoke no crack and I ain't sniff no coke, but I sniff crack sometime. No, not the drug. Let me get out of here. What you talking about, butt crack last? Well, I like women, right? Anyway, we're gonna do this again tomorrow night. I just want to get some of these mangoes and hit the sack because you know what? I got a lot of action happening here tomorrow. And I forgot. Oh man, I forgot. I gotta get back up early at the crack of dawn. And crack of dawn, Freudian slip, right? I'm very excited about this phase of my life. I'm very excited about the work that I've done on myself to cleanse myself of past traumas and toxicities that I may have caused myself to have. And it's such a good feeling. I want everybody to look within. I'm not saying there's something wrong with y'all or whatever, but just there's no way you get into this point in this world where you don't have a scratch or a dent and it pains you and people do things. And some people can be so cruel. You know what I mean? I understand that. You walk into a room, people don't even know you. They start hating on you. You know what I mean? People that you thought was in your corner, they sabotaging and smearing your character. I've been through it all. Trust me. I've been through it all. But it's not going to stop me from enjoying my sun from shining. I mean, I don't have a sun S-O-N. I'm talking about the sun S-U-N. And it's not mine. It belongs to everybody. It feeds all of us. So I'm not going to miss out on the beauty that is the sun and the vibrations that we have with each other. It's a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful thing. So that being said, I'm going to sign off. The mangoes are smelling good because it's smelling up the place. It's like it's saying, come on, come on, come on and take a bite. Yeah, come on and eat me. That don't sound right, right? But yeah, the way I eat this mango is going to be, there might be mango gasms up in here. Trust me. Anyway, much love to you all. I'm coming back tomorrow night. I don't know what the title is going to be. I'm going to hook it up and we're going to have a good time tomorrow night. We're going to do this every night until, you know, I may take a break or whatever. I'll have something I have to do. But if I'm home, we're going to do it. We're going to do it. All right. Much love to you all. Take care. Remember the words I said. And we're going to talk tomorrow. Much love. Remember, Lancescurv.com always. All right. I enjoyed myself tonight. Thank you all so much for sharing your energy. Peace.